What will you do if you get $7.18 million? I'm sure you're already thinking of a long list of things to do. Would you believe me if I said that someone sold a small handbag for a $7.18 million? I'm talking about Parva Mia. It was launched in November 2020 and this bag was designed by this famous Italian designer Boarini Milanese. And there's an enormous craze for it. And to add more fuel to the fire, only 3 pieces of this bag has been ever created. But who is going to buy that? And why did the designer price it so much for the bag? Well, there is only one answer for this. The bag is the one called as Veblen Goods. Yes, that's the topic for the day today. Today we'll learn all about Veblen Goods, what they are, why do people buy Veblen Goods, advantages, disadvantages and much more. Hi all, my name is Dheeraj Vaidya and welcome to Wall Street Mojo, the home to most authentic information on finance and accounting. Let's get started. What are Veblen Goods? Veblen Goods are luxury goods whose demand increases along with their price. Therefore, these goods are considered as status symbol and exclusive. An interesting fact is that the nature of Veblen Goods completely contradicts the law of demand. So, as you might know, the law of demand states that as the price of the good increases, the demand would correspondingly decrease, right? But in the case of Veblen Goods, it's the inverse, which essentially means that as the price increases, the demand would correspondingly increase. Yes, you heard me right. To understand the concept of Veblen Goods in a better way, I want you to imagine this scenario. Assume that it's a busy evening with the hustle and the bustle of people. People flock to the malls, some rushed into theaters, and eateries are jam-packed. Then imagine, out of nowhere, a posh Lamborghini passes through in the middle of the road. What will be the crowd's reaction? Well, everyone will glance at the car and immediately perceive that the person who is sitting inside the car is rich since the vehicle is costly, right? Before I proceed further, try to answer this question. What makes a product costly? In this case, Lamborghini. Is it the raw material or the parts, the manufacturing process, or the uniqueness of the product? The answer is mostly all of them and many other factors that may make the product costly, right? But in the case of Veblen Goods, there is one another critical factor, and that is people's perception. Remember how I mentioned that everyone started staring at Lamborghini? Yes, you heard that right. So now, let's dig deep into Veblen Goods. So in spite of the high cost, why do people buy such goods? The buying of Veblen Goods is the result of 2 types of thought processes. Let me explain this. The first case is that of the super rich who desire not to be perceived as the member of the lower class. They spend huge amount of money to differentiate themselves from the lower income group. And this is called as the invidious comparison. The second thought process is called as a pecuniary emulation. Here what happens is that the lower or the middle income group try to project themselves as the elite class. And how do they do that? They do this by buying these Veblen Goods. So they want others to perceive them as upper class members. Now, these 2 aspects which we just discussed rely entirely on the fact that other people should perceive the owner of Veblen Goods as elite or high-class person. Using this as the main crux, the business of Veblen Goods skyrockets. Now, let's see what happens if the value of Veblen Goods is reduced. Imagine if everyone had a Lamborghini. No one would watch a passing Lamborghini with an awe, right? Similarly, if the price of the Veblen Goods reduces, its status symbol will decrease and it will become just an ordinary good, right? So This scenario where the demand for the product increases as the price of the product increases, it's called as the Veblen effect. It is named after this American economic theorist, Thorstein Veblen, who first suggested this concept in his book, The Theory of Leisure Class in 1899. So now we understand what Veblen goods are. Let's see some real-world example. Let's talk about this well-known clothing brand, Supreme. It was started by James Jebbia in 1994 in Manhattan, New York. Now, this brand sells regular jackets, hoodies, pants starting from $100 to $300. Every Supreme product is very exclusive and is a limited edition. And it attracts huge crowd every time a new product is released. The high cost and the limited supply have created high demand for Supreme. From this real-world example, you can understand the key characteristics of Veblen goods. Now first comes the exorbitant price. Most Veblen goods are incredibly pricey and are way out of the commoner's affordability. They're always targeted towards the wealthy, right? Now second is they sell very few products. It essentially is done in order to make these products unique. And the third is that the creations are supported by well-known personalities and are easily identified. Fourth is that you will never get a discount on any Veblen goods. And last but not the least, each product is one of its kind and cannot be replaced with another product. Another interesting fact is that the resale value of these goods are mostly higher than the actual price, and it is because of their uniqueness. With all said and done, let's look at some of the advantages of Veblen goods. First is that these goods boost consumer self-esteem and definitely it provides incredible popularity. Another advantage is that it may inspire other people to strive hard and attain a similar level of riches to buy such goods. On the other hand, there are many disadvantages of Veblen goods. First is that as much as it receives attention from people, it also catches the eyes of thieves. As a result, there is a very high chance of theft. Another drawback is that due to the supremacy projected by Veblen goods, the owners may face bitterness from the society. Also, note that higher prices always do not promise quality. And again, there's a high chance of counterfeit happening with these goods, meaning similar fake goods can be created and sold. Let me conclude that all Veblen goods are only popular and exciting when associated with the wealthiest people. When the hype goes down, the brand loses its value. Do let me know which Veblen good would you like to buy in the comment section below. Until then, this is Dheeraj signing off for today. See you soon with a new video on another interesting topic.